there's something to it too, right? I think a lot of us would say we need to look at the early church, be the early church, right? Because I think we could all probably agree. We look at the modern church today and we say, it's not probably the best representation of Christ, right? I mean, in every regard, it's kind of a joke to the modern world. It's kind of, it's irrelevant, whatever.
Right.
I think it's like, okay, and we don't see what we saw happening. I mean, you read Acts chapter 2,
Right.
day of Pentecost. Thousands of people are like, whoa, real life is now, just that was a culture shock. How do I be a part of this? We just don't see, I mean, not just the signs, wonders, miracles thing. I mean, those could be argued and whatever like that. But I mean, that's a piece of it. But it's like, we just don't see that kind of thing that like at the ending of Acts chapter 2, where it's like, Christ is so much in their view that it says they sell they get rid of everything and they give it to one another. They're like, oh, Ariel, you do have a car because I'm not giving you mine right now. See, even then, right? Like,
no, yeah.
But see, even then, like I joke, but it's like, that's exactly how we think. It's like, this is my stuff, that's your stuff. And it's like, they saw this meal, this koinonia, this so much. They're like, you need a car? I have a car. Take mine.
Yeah.
It's like, here, it's yours. Oh, you need this? Here, it's yours. Well, I just need this much. It's like, I got 5 families, so I need a little bit more. Mike, it's just you and Anthony, or, whatever. You and your son, so I need a little bit more. So, all right, well, I got a spare room. Come on, come live with us. And all of us right now, we could walk in and out of churches and groups of Christ followers, and someone could be literally like, I'm living, in my car, and we'd be like, I'll get you a hotel.
Yeah, for the night.
If we would even do that. Usually be like, oh, it'll get better, sweetie. I'll pray for you. And it's like, Christ is like, I'm here. I'm with you.
Right.
Be me. Do this. And it's like that. And when you read the ending of Acts chapter 2, they're just giving freely, because they say, freely I've received, freely I give. And we say, yeah, that's how the church should be. It's like, okay, well, you are the church.
You are the church.
Like the church isn't an entity that sits over here that you enter, like you are it. So if you don't like what the church is offering, maybe you're the one that needs to offer it. But then we peek and say, okay, well, what caused the church to do that? It was view of Christ. How did they keep view of Christ?
Communing with each other.
It wasn't a pastor preaching, which, again, we need message, we need word. It wasn't a song that moved them. It was the message of the gospel. And then to say, you can take part, come sit at the banquet.
And that's what the end of Acts says. Like, and right after it talks about the communion, it says that they met daily at the temple, and then they communed and broke bread together. So it was a daily thing. They went to the temple together, and then they ate together. It was this repetitious. It was that rhythm that they were creating, daily rhythm with Christ followers, with God, this newfound thing that's like basically blowing their minds. And they're like, who cares? Let's just do this thing. It means this much to us, and all we need to do is just be together. So that really stood out to me at the end. Like, it was just like mind blowing. Like their eyes were open, and now this is the only thing I want to do all the time. So that was really
like it's this whole other way of looking at life. And I don't think many of us, this is my view, my personal opinion, I think many people who have been Christ followers for decades, anyone alive, because 500 years this started changing 500 years ago. I mean, we've talked about that. It's slightly before that's too, but I mean, that's the big marker. That means no one alive has really even experienced anything about what the early church was about. We may have dabbled, we may have had appetizers, had moments, but I'm talking about that rhythm of every week. I'm just going to completely shift. It's no longer, I got my life and I'm going to let Jesus in every once in a while. There's this Jesus life, and then if there's anything left over, I'll take it. And then you actually find you don't want anything left over. You want him to take it all. And it becomes something that's actually satisfied. I mean, there's a phrase you and I say a lot, which is that everything else the world has offered just turns to ash in your mouth, but not this meal. Now, the physical food, someone may burn the bread or whatever like that. We just buy it from Costco or whatever, but it's like, it's not the physical food that will turn. It's the real thing that satisfies, which is the first temptation of Jesus.
Well, so often
in the wilderness, turn the stones to bread.
So often it's, I have to say it now. There's your church. Here's your church and the people that you talk to when you're at church. And then you leave church and then there's my other friends. Yeah. There's my church family. Oh yeah, I know I have my church family. When do you see them? Well, every Sunday. But they're your family? Well, yeah, they're my church family. Explain, right? Like, I mean, and I think that everyone keeps the two lives completely separate. Most people do.
Yeah.
You've got your friends and then your church friends.
Yeah, and like my friends are my real friends.
Right.
I get together with them and hang out, and we have a good time, talk about life. Church friends, what do they do for a living? I have no clue, but their name is Steph. You know,
Right,
that's what I know about them.
That's the extent of it.
He's got 2 kids, I think, because I teach them in children's church or whatever, right? You know?
That's it. Yeah.
It's like it's this weird.
That was never the intention, though.
No,
That
it was actually exact
the
reversal.
complete opposite.
The
the
idea
opposite.
is that spiritual things outlast the natural, so the spiritual connection we have in Christ, in that salvation, trumps everything.
Yeah. But what's funny is when you mention to people about communion or gathering with your church people, your church family, they want to look at you and like, you're spending all this time with them. What about this portion of your life right here? And I'm like, but these are the people that truly understand where I am, the walk that I'm doing, who can really pour into my life. And it shouldn't be odd. Like, these are the people that I want to spend my life with, my day with. It should be odd that I'm going out with other people. But just to hear that in daily conversations that I've had this week with someone saying, hey, you're going up there again? And you're just like, well, yeah, you know? And I actually enjoy it. Like, sometimes it's a push, but it's just like what is going to, it's pouring into each other, and you guys pouring into me, that shows that communion and that fellowship, that deep joint participation that we're all doing here.
I actually had a friend tell me, oh, you're free tonight? I thought you were at church till the rapture. And I'm like, what? What is that? Okay. All right.
They think it's a cult.
Right, yeah.
We're drinking the Kool-Aid.